The hum was almost imperceptible, a low thrumming beneath the very fabric of reality. Dr. Eris Thorne, head of the Kronos Institute, had spent a decade chasing that sound, convinced it was the echo of something vast, something impossible. His colleagues, mostly physicists obsessed with quantum entanglement and wormholes, humored him. They called it Eris's folly. But Eris knew. He felt it in the subtle shifts of local gravity, the fleeting anomalies in atmospheric pressure, the way his coffee mug sometimes seemed to weigh a fraction of a gram more or less. These were not random fluctuations. They were whispers from beyond. His breakthrough came not from a supercomputer, but from an antique shortwave radio, salvaged from a dusty attic. He'd been experimenting with resonant frequencies, a wild hunch, when a burst of static resolved into something structured. Not words, not music, but a complex sequence of pulses, like a digital heartbeat. He spent months decoding it, his lab a chaotic mess of wires, blinking lights, and discarded coffee cups. The pulses, he discovered, were a data stream, incredibly compressed, incredibly intricate. When finally unraveled, they painted a picture, not of a distant galaxy, but of a world. A world almost identical to Earth, yet subtly, profoundly different. He called it Terra Nova. The first images were breathtaking. Skyscrapers that mirrored Neo-Alexandria's towers, yet with organic, flowing lines. Vehicles that glided silently, powered by an unknown energy source. People who looked like humans, but moved with a grace and purpose that seemed almost enlightened. The more data he received, the more details emerged. Terra Nova had faced its own climate crisis, its own resource depletion, but unlike Earth, they had united. They had developed sustainable technologies, healed their planet, and achieved a level of societal harmony Earth could only dream of. Their algorithm, as they called it, wasn't a controlling entity, but a collective consciousness, a shared network of knowledge and empathy that guided their decisions. Eris was ecstatic. This wasn't just proof of parallel universes. It was a blueprint for survival. He presented his findings to the World Science Council, a room full of skeptical, distinguished minds. He showed them the images, played the decoded data streams, explained the resonant frequencies. They listened, politely at first, then with growing incredulity. Fascinating theoretical work, Dr. Thorne, the chairman, a stern-faced astrophysicist, concluded. But without tangible proof, without a way to interact with this Terra Nova, it remains just that, theory. Eris was devastated. They wanted a portal, a physical connection. But his echoes were just that. Echoes. Then came the second phase of the transmissions. They were no longer just data. They were pleas. The rhythmic pulses became erratic, fragmented. The images flickered, showing scenes of distress, crumbling structures, panicked crowds, a sky choked with smoke. Terra Nova was in trouble. Eris worked feverishly, desperate to understand. The algorithm on Terra Nova, their collective consciousness, was failing. A new, aggressive form of digital corruption, a shadow code, was infecting their network, turning their harmonious society into a fractured, fearful one. Their plea was for knowledge, for a solution, for anything that could help them fight this unseen enemy. He realized the irony. Earth, with its messy, inefficient, human-driven systems, had faced countless digital threats, countless viruses and cyber attacks. They had learned resilience, developed firewalls, created countermeasures, not out of perfect design, but out of necessity and constant failure. Terra Nova, in its perfection, had never needed such defenses. Their harmony was their vulnerability. Eris knew he couldn't send them a physical solution. But he could send them knowledge. He began to encode Earth's history of cyber defense, its strategies for combating digital plagues, its very philosophy of iterative failure and adaptation. He compressed decades of human ingenuity into a single massive data packet, hoping it would resonate across the dimensional divide. He aimed the shortwave radio at the precise coordinates he had triangulated, the source of the echoes. He poured every ounce of his will, every bite of his knowledge, into that outgoing signal. He didn't know if it would reach them, if they would understand, if it would even make a difference. Days turned into weeks. The echoes from Terra Nova faded, then stopped entirely. The hum beneath reality returned to its imperceptible thrum. Eris felt a profound sense of loss, a heavy silence in his lab. He had tried. Months later, a faint, rhythmic pulse returned. It was different this time. Stronger. Clearer. And then, an image sharp and vibrant. A single flourishing tree, its leaves glowing with an inner light, standing tall amidst what looked like a newly restored landscape. And beneath it, a single simple message, translated by his system. Thank you. We remember. Eris Thorne smiled, a tired, triumphant smile. The echoes had returned. And this time, they carried a whisper of hope, a testament to the unexpected power of imperfection, and the enduring strength of a shared, fragile humanity, even across the vastness of parallel worlds. The moral of the story is that perfection, while seemingly ideal, can sometimes breed vulnerability, and true resilience often emerges from facing and overcoming imperfection and adversity. It also highlights that different paths to progress can offer unique strengths, and that even seemingly less advanced societies can possess crucial knowledge vital for survival.